Greetings, YouTube Nation. So, there's been a lot of talk on Facebook about which is better, DCC or DC operations. To be honest, both are good in their merits. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. But, to be fair, no one system is better than the other. I've been a DC model railroader from the days of my first layout, from the moment I used to play with my model trains on the floor of my bedroom when I was in junior high school. I have been, and to this day, am still DCC. But you have seen in a previous video, and I'll try and include the link on it, I did change two of these main lines to DCC-EX. Now, I'm not looking to go DCC. DCC is tempting, but it's expensive. But of course, you can always make a DCC ready locomotive into DC by just buying a $20 to $30 decoder. But getting past that, I make no judgments whether you're DCC or DC. And I hope you make no judgments at me that I'm still DC. I don't care if you use DC or DCC. We're all model railroaders, and we're all in this together because model railroading is our hobby and our passion and our love. Now, getting to the subject, the true subject of this video is that you can run DC trains using a DCC system. But the trouble is, if you run a DC locomotive, there's always the risk of a buzzing sound. My understanding with DCC-EX is that it's supposed to help run DC trains run better. I believe it's a concept known as pulse wave modulation. I'm still trying to figure the whole thing out. And maybe when I'm too old to run trains, I'll finally understand it. But in any event, there is that buzzing sound that happens when you run DC trains on a DC trains on a DCC setup. But DCC-EX lets you remove the buzz. So I'm going to switch angles and I'll continue with the demonstration. Okay, so this is the cell phone that I use to run engine driver with to control the main lines wired to the DCC-EX command station. This also happens to be one of the cell phones I use to record content for the channel. And this also happens to be the cell phone that misbehaved on me when I went to York a couple weeks ago. Now, there is the option to use JMRI. I don't understand JMRI. I have yet to wrap my head around the concept of JMRI. And if you use DCC-EX, JMRI is not mandatory. You can instead use the DCC-EX native commands option. And that's what I use. This icon over here allows you to use in-phone locomotive sounds like the bell, the horn, the motor. It has preloaded sounds. I'm still on the fence about enabling sounds. None of the DCC ready locomotives that I have, if I ever decide to get a decoder, I'm still on the fence about getting a decoder with sounds. I mean, it's just me. I don't run locomotives at a club. I do not belong to a club. I don't have the time to join a club. This over here is to switch the tracks on and off. And this is just for control panels, so you could show the horn, the bell, and other locomotive options. Right now, as you can see, the track is off because the I/O is red. And the way that I switched the layout from DCC to DC is using the DCC-EX button, which I'm about to tap right now. Give me 1 second. Right, now, the tracks are still off. There's no power. By default, when you click on the DCC-EX command button, by default, it goes to programming track, the service mode. And I go into the track district manager option. And right now, both main lines are set to DCC. The DCC-EX 8874 motor shield by default was wired for mainline for the A connection to be DCC, and for the B connection to be the programming track. But I could change that to DCC. I could set that to DC. Now, I'm going to go back by pressing the close over here. Before I switch the tracks on, I'm going to introduce two locomotives. Big Red over here on mainline B, wired to the B, is a Kato SD90/43 MAC. I got this big girl from Bernie's Model Trains, located in Jessup, Pennsylvania. I'm going to put his address, his contact information in the video. He also has a Facebook page. Bernie's a good guy. I've met him. I've bought a couple of things from him, including this girl over here. His prices are very reasonable. And, as always, you should support your local model railroad shop. And on the main line for wired to A, the gray ghost over here is an Athearn AC 4400 CW, which I bought from a model railroad buy-sell group on Facebook. I've bought from this guy at least once or twice. He's a good guy. He's got good prices. So now I am going to switch on the main lines. Now, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I am going to close in. You can hear 9120 humming over here. And the Gray Ghost, Kansas City Southern 2001, is also buzzing. Why? Because the tracks are set to DCC. I'm going to change that. So right now, I'm going to select 2001 on the main line. I'm going to select 9120. And I'm going to go into DCC-EX. Let me do that again, because you probably didn't see it. I'm going to go into DCC-EX right here. I'm in the Track District Manager. I'm going to select DC from the drop-down. Mainline A. Is now DC. I'm now going to key in 9120. Set it. DCC-EX has already acknowledged it by switching from programming in main to DC for 2001, the Gray Ghost, and 9120, Big Red. And it's quiet. There is no noise coming whatsoever from either locomotive. So now I'm going to close. So now I'm going to set the Gray Ghost 2001 forward. And I'm going to set Big Red forward. And we're off to the races. Here comes the Gray Ghost with her consist. And here comes Big Red with her consist. DCC-EX is letting me do this with a maximum speed step of 128, even though it says 126. These speeds are fine for me. I'm satisfied. So now I'm going to stop the Gray Ghost. And now I'm going to stop Big Red. Smooth as silk. Now, I'm going to switch. Now, if you give me a few seconds, I'm going to switch on the Bluetooth speaker so that you can hear the in-phone locomotive sounds. Give me one moment. All right, so now this phone is connected to the Bluetooth speaker. And I'm going to go to the headphone options. And right now you see no basic locomotive sounds set. So now it's giving me these options. So I don't know what these girls use, except since the Grey Ghost is a Gevo, we're gonna use the GE 73 FDL. Throttle 2 is an EMD unit. So I'm going to choose the 645 turbo. And everything should switch on momentarily when I click close. All right. Yep, there we go. Do you guys hear that? So now I just pressed this keypad over here. So now I'm going to press horn. I'm hoping you guys can hear that. I'm going to try it again. And now I'm going to try the bell. So let's try this again. So both trains are moving, and you could hear the sound of the locomotive motor actually moving. Yeah, it does sound kind of cheesy. Which is why I'm not 100% sold. I don't need the locomotive sounds. But I just wanted to demonstrate it to you. And I'm going to let the Big Red's back where I had her. And now Grey Ghost is coming back. And I'm going to stop her right where she was. So, I hope you found this video informative about DCC-EX and how it can handle DC trains. That you don't have to deal with the buzzing noise any longer. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank all of my subscribers for their continued support. If you are not a subscriber, please like and share and subscribe. There is a link in the lower right hand corner of this video that you could click on at any time during the course of the video. The link for the channel will appear shortly before the end of this video. And I'd like to thank you all for stopping by. I'll see you soon.